X4 is the best in the series. Let's just get that out of the way. X2, irrelevant. X5, irrelevant. X6, pretty good at.
What the fuck?
Growing up, we didn't have a PS1, so my first experiences with this game were over at a neighbor's house. We did have a Super Nintendo, so I at least knew what Mega Man was, but seeing the sparkly 32-bit entry blew my freaking mind back then. We would spend hours playing it together, mostly trying to beat Web Spider, taking turns with the controller every time we died. X4 lets you choose between playing as X, a ranged character, or Zero, a melee character, at the beginning of the game. Unlike later entries, you're not allowed to switch once the game starts, which never really bothered me, but more importantly, it doesn't contain any dumbass consequences like robbing X of his force armor, or amputating Zero's arm. Why would you do this? When I was younger, I always played as Zero in this game, as I loved how much faster he was than X, and once you beat Split Mushroom, you unlock, which has him flip in the air, attacking all around him instead of the standard horizontal slash he starts with. Freaking flipping over enemies while taking them out. I miss the 90s. Righto! That's it for the overview. Let's start the playthrough. Starting off with Web Spider, I get a blast of nostalgia because again, ever since I picked this game up for the first time, this is the stage I started with. Web Spider's fight is easy enough, just try not to get caught in his webs here, or he'll fall down from the ceiling on top of you before you're able to untangle yourself from the webs, taking serious damage. Once he's halfway down, he'll spin a giant web and crawl around it, shooting out baby spiders a la Boss Spider, and goes down without too much fuss. Split Mushroom is weak to Spider's weapon, so we set off to climb his tower. I've always hated the giant elevator because there's a tight dash you need to do right at the end to avoid being crushed between this plant and the elevator floor. Split Mushroom can be totally ground to dust with Spider's weapon, but if you want to fight him without it, just watch out for his clone attacks. I swear there's no way to figure out if he's going to roll along the ground or if he's going to jump up in the air. But if you know something about this, please let me know in the comments. I'm so tired of getting clapped by this guy. Now we have Soul Body, so let's move on to... This stage is an obstacle course that provides you with better rewards depending on how fast you can complete each room. There are best paths for each of these rooms that offer the least resistance, so you can basically guarantee an S rank each time, but it'll take a few tries to get it right. I think I've seen people call these rooms random, and they totally aren't for what it's worth. Cybercock himself isn't too bad either. He warps around but gives you a good second or so to hit him before he attempts an attack. When he lines up to start firing off feathers at you, there's actually a really easy jump you can perform to dodge each time. If you wanted to wait to get the weakness rather than grabbing the plasma shot right away, Storm Owl is up next. You're jumping around this airbase through giant laser cannons that destroy the floor if you're not fast enough. Oh, and this also contains one of my favorite tracks from the game. Check this out. Use Spider's weapon to climb this wall of spikes, and go ahead and grab the plasma shot here. Oh, well, sorry. Technically no. X4 gives you 2 buster upgrades here, and look, try as I might, I cannot see the effectiveness of the 4 charge shot one. It's just so ineffective and weak that I'd rather just stick to my regular buster most of the time. Luckily, you don't have to commit to one or the other though. If you want to try them out, you can always come back and re-equip either at any time. Owl flies around into and out of the stage, but much slower than, like, Storm Eagle. Later on in the fight, he'll summon these tornadoes that hit really hard, but otherwise you're just trying to sneak in as many little hits as you possibly can. This is going to be one of the slower fights, simply based on how much Owl stays outside the screen, especially with Zero and his limited reach. Back at it again! Hopping around this cargo train is fun enough, though the flow is a little wonky as these boxes are blocking your dashing most of the time. There's a little mini-boss here that you absolutely wreck if you got the plasma shot. Like, come on dude, how is this balanced? It's not hidden behind a cheat code or a hidden wall. It's out in the freaking open, dude! But holy shit, it's fun! I don't know, Slash Beast jumps around a lot. It's about this point, if you're playing as X, you'll be challenged to a fight by the Repliforce Colonel, a guy named Colonel. So X races off to Memorial Hall to face him. This fight can be won by standing totally still and only jumping, as he's so slow and X can attack at range, you never actually need to move back and forth. Once you get the timing down, it's actually pretty funny to watch. For Zero, no fight. Instead, you get to watch this ridiculous cutscene between the two of them.
Colonel! What? Prepare yourself!
Zero saved my life.
I'll spare your life. Must stop Repliforce.
Zero!
With Slash's weapon, we can now grab the armor upgrade from Magma Dragoon, so let's dive feet first down that volcano. Start hopping around and dodging the fireballs raining down on you. Pretty easy, other than a few tough jumps that need to be timed. Dragoon is a scary fight for newcomers, and can catch you off guard and beat you down if you're not paying attention. He's a melee fighter, mostly, who uses Street Fighter moves, so the majority of the time during this fight, you're going to be dodging his attacks and keeping your distance, contrasting Storm Owl where you needed to chase him around. Once you beat him, you actually get more sweet lore drops. Dragoon was someone that the hunters knew well and respected at some point, but this game does such a piss poor job of explaining things like this, it's hardly even worth mentioning. I don't know, guys. Sigma bad. Okay, cool. Frost has a collectible that requires Magma Dragoon's weapon, so let's burn it down. Gotta be honest here, after Avalanche Yeti and the X8 demake, I don't think any X-Series Ice boss is worth mentioning anymore. But during the mini-boss here, you can see a little frozen chill penguin. Isn't that cool?
Get the generator!
When I finally got a copy of this game for the first time, it was during Christmas, so this snowy level and the ambient music always takes me back to those cozy times. And that just leaves my least favorite, the Ride Chaser one! While not as bad as it will be, I really don't like it at all. There's a fake out near the beginning that makes you think you need to jump, but actually you need to do nothing in order to grab the heart upgrade. This will take all of one time for you to figure out, and to get the sub-tank, you have to make a really rough timed jump and dash near the end of the stage. The height you dash at really matters, as I've sped right over top of it. It's about hitting it right in that sweet spot, and if you miss it, have fun coming on back. Oh, just don't forget to run down Jet Stingray when he tries to creep up on you from behind. As a boss, he flies from one side of the stage to the other and spits out these little baby stingrays that move along the bottom of the screen to trip you up. Not the hardest, but a little unpredictable as to when he'll move from one side to the other. Luckily, you can freeze him solid in place repeatedly. Dude, this series in soft-locking bosses with ice weapons, I swear. With our main 8 defeated, we need to rush to whatever the next stage is called, which has one of the best tracks in the game. Full stop. And then a face-off with Colonel one more time. Once he's dead, we move on to the final weapon. Gonna go ahead and assume you've never played this game, but still want to without anything being spoiled, so I'ma just move on to the second to last fight. And, look, it has nothing to do with the fact that I feel like the script is getting long and I gotta move on, so, let's move on. The general fight sucks as Zero. You attack by hitting the tiny little head, but that can really only be done if you hop along his hands when he fires them out to get some wax in. All the while, you'll be avoiding his blue balls and trying your best to not get run over. Unless he goes all the way down to the bottom and you can flip over his head to do damage, you're gonna be here a while. X is able to hit him much easier. His weakness is Beast's weapon, which shoots up and down at an angle, making it almost tailor-made to fight this punk. Lastly, we got good old... If you're Zero, we get a major lore dump. It's not confirmed in this game, but come on, it's alluded to that Zero was the final creation of Dr. Wily, just like X was by Light. Except Zero accessed Ultra Instinct and went on a killing spree, winding up in an abandoned warehouse. Holy shit, what? Sigma, the then leader of the Maverick Hunters, was dispatched to the warehouse to take down this strange red Maverick. Sigma ultimately loses and receives the Wily virus from Zero at this point, once Sigma crushes the crystal on Zero's head, but we're getting way too far down into the lore now. All I really want to say about this cutscene is that it's beautifully animated, and it's a ton of fun to see Zero kick the life out of Sigma. Okay, seriously, dude. Okay, alright, stop. I think you got him, dude. Holy shit. Sigma has 3 forms in this fight, but the first one is so cheesy that it barely counts as a form. He appears as the Grim Reaper and floats at the top of the stage. In this form, he'll either throw out fireballs or warp to one of the top corners and then drag his scythe along the floor of the stage. He can't be attacked with anything other than Magma Dragoon's weapon, and once you do, he sets on fire and fades away. I guess it somewhat reminds me of Hymax in the way that the game forces you to play one specific way, but that doesn't make it good. He falls to earth as the fire burns off his cloak and reveals his newest body equipped with shoulder boomerangs, rippling biceps, and eye lasers. After taking him down, you crash through the floor and face off against his final form, which is actually 2. And wait, Iris is waiting for you? That's fucked up, dude. Both of these forms need to be defeated in order to win the fight. But as a final boss, look, the mech can be cheesed pretty easily, while the forehead is just more annoying to deal with while attacking. After he attacks, though, he does just kind of sit there and beg for a beatdown until he disappears again. It'll probably take a couple of tries, but I'm telling you what, keep at it, and it'll be over before you know it. X4 is so freaking amazing, dude. It blew my mind as a kid and still does today, even after beating it 400,000 times. This game is super accessible too. You can find it in many different compilations on many different platforms, so check it out if you're looking for a quick romp with some awesome set pieces, music, and bosses. Thanks so much for watching. If you're in the mood for something retro, check out my Super Castlevania 4 review. Or if you're looking for something more modern, I did a little video talking about 4 of my favorite Metroidvanias you can grab on Steam right now.